Olá, pessoal, tudo bem? Good afternoon. How are you? Are you okay? Vamos começar agora uma live com o nosso amigo Colby Adams. Oh, you're there. Hello, Colby. Let me call her. Hello, Colby. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
How's it going,
Hello.
Renata?
I'm fine, dear. And you?
I'm doing awesome. Great to see you.
So good to see you too. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an honor to be with you today and to catch up. I really missed tea time during all this time with the pandemic and everything, but I've been seeing that you guys have been doing online classes and online learning. So
Yes.
tea time is still continuing to educate during this time.
So, my dear Colby, guys, today I have Colby here, Colby Adams. I'll let him introduce himself to you. Please, Colby, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Colby, and I'm from the United States. I was born in the state of Nebraska. Nebraska. The name of the city that I was born is Omaha, Nebraska. The name Omaha comes from the natives who used to occupy that part of the land back before the land was colonized. So
Uh-huh.
Omaha is actually like a word for the native community, the native Omaha tribe that lived there.
Oh,
But I lived in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, for about 7 years. So those are my two places that I say that I'm from. I'm from Chicago and I'm from Nebraska.
good, good.
I moved to Brazil in 2017 to work with music and theater here in Brazil, but with a purpose of using the arts as a way to affect social transformation, to help
Mm.
people explore the arts and to better themselves through the arts, and to also communicate messages to society through the arts. That is really important in these moments right now.
Very, very important. Always, right?
Yeah,
Always. But nowadays, maybe more than ever, right?
yeah.
But I want to know in the map, where is, because we don't know very much, in
Huh?
the map, where is Nebraska in the
So,
United States?
yeah, so Nebraska is the state in the very middle of the United States.
Right.
So I kind of say that Nebraska is the Brasilia of the United States. It's right in the center of the
Good.
country,
Good. Now I got it. Good. Thanks.
but
And
it's known for corn for the production of corn. So they call it the corn husker state because husking corn is when you produce corn. It's like I actually don't know what the husking word is in Portuguese, but é uma forma de produzir, husk, corn.
okay. Okay. Something like broke corn?
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you husk, you pull it out. Você puxa o milho da terra para preparar.
Right.
Harvesting.
Cool. Right. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Good.
So
And then you also lived in Chicago. And Chicago is where exactly?
Chicago. Okay. So if you think about Nebraska is in the very middle, if you go to the right, I hope I'm showing the right here.
The
If you go,
right.
yes, yes. If you go to the right, straight across two states, you'll land in Chicago. And it's actually right where Lake Michigan is. So there are about four Great Lakes in the United States, and Lake Michigan is one of the Great Lakes there. And Chicago is right on the front of the Lake Michigan.
Cool. Right. Okay, guys. So we have geography and geography class and English class. Right.
It takes about 9 hours of driving to get from Nebraska to Chicago.
Oh,
So,
it's a
but it's
long way.
driving without lots of traffic. So they have a highway that's similar to like the highway in Florianopolis, where you have a lot of lanes, pistas, to be able to go faster. So 9 hours when there's no traffic, you can
It's so
get from
fast.
Nebraska to Chicago.
So fast. So cool. Right. And Colby, why Brazil?
Why Brazil? Well, I always worked in the same area in the United States. I worked in the arts there and I loved it. I saw the value of the arts and how it transforms children to young adults to people over the age of 50. I was able to see that transformation there. Um, but for me, Brazil, what I was needing was a culture of hospitable people that that know how to work, yes, that know how to let you have your profession and your job, but they also know how to have fun when you're not working. And I think the biggest difference between the United States culture and the Brazilian culture is that I believe that Brazilians know how to separate work and, and the personal life really well. They're able to enjoy their personal life without feeling bad for it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel in the United States, we're so work oriented and work focused that sometimes we feel bad to go outside and be with friends rather than working at home and working more hours and making more money. So one thing that brought me to Brazil is I love that I can work in the arts, but I also love that I can be with Brazilians on the weekends and feel that warmth that Brazilians have. And that's
So
what makes me happy personally.
so Regina is right here. She said, because of the people. Oh, why
Yeah,
did you come to Brazil? Because of the people, right?
yeah, exactly, Regina.
It's so good. And what do you like most here in Brazil? Apart from the
Um,
people that I know you do.
yes, I mean the people are the best. The
Ah,
people are the
okay,
best.
thanks.
Um,
Sometimes we don't agree with you, but okay, okay.
yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, yes. Um, I would say the there are many things that I love outside of just the people. The I love that that Brazilian food is more homemade. I love that every family knows how to make homemade rice and beans, meat, dishes. I absolutely love just how making your own food is common and expected in Brazilian families. So even if you have like a Brazilian barbecue, every helping and bringing in foods. And you know, we have homemade food in my country as well. It's just that um, only on very special holidays and special days do we really, you know, make a lot of food at home. But many of us will usually order food because the access to ordered food is really easy and there's a lot of diversity to choose from.
Ah,
But here I noticed that while there are some options to order food, I love that everyone really knows how to make food at home. They know what seasoning they need to put on their food. And yeah, I would say the food, the people, and I also love that going to a beach or to an island doesn't cost an arm and a leg. We say this in English. Uma facada. We would say an arm and a leg. Like you have to
exactly.
spend
In
parts
in
of your body.
Portuguese, in Portuguese we would say os olhos da cara,
It was always
right?
like exactly. So going to Ilha do Mel, Honey Island, I see it as very accessible. It costs like if you take the bus there, the bus will take you all the way to the boat. Then you take the boat all the way to the island, and you get there the same day, and you're paying about 60 reais. So
Yes.
um, I would say that in the United States, for us to go to a beach, this is like you have to pay a flight to go to California to find a hotel and then go to the beach. So I actually really love that Brazil has a lot of nature. I mean, even here in Curitiba, last September, I climbed Pico do Paraná. And that's like a huge mountain that's only an hour away from here. But it was so extreme. It didn't even seem like this is Curitiba, but it's so close by here. And just going there was about an hour to get there. But we can do these activities with whatever nature is close by.
True, true. It's true. It's true. You said about the nature, which is a blessing
Yeah.
because we really have wonderful nature here. I totally agree. We totally agree. We can see that. And about the food, it's very interesting what you said because it's a way to show love. So it
Yeah.
goes with what you said about the Brazilian hospitality, right?
Yeah.
And this thing about cooking for people to show their love. We love to cook and to show love through cooking, right? It's true.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And another thing that reminded me is that I think Brazilian moms, specifically Brazilian moms, are probably the most loving and kind group of people I've encountered in the world. In the world, like I know that Brazilians in general are very kind, but Brazilian moms, like I have so many. I feel that the Brazilian moms here take care of me better than my own mom because they're always sending messages. Are you eating? How's your day? God bless you. How's everything at home? Just the care and the worry and making sure that you're eating. And whenever I go to a home, a Brazilian mom just knows how to treat you like you're a king, and their home. And I noticed that even with the students at tea time, is that almost all of them are mothers or grandmothers. And I felt like when I was giving class, like I was giving class to like all my moms. Like they were all moms to me that just treated me like their son, and they in a good way, like in a very hospitable and kind way. So I would say Brazilian moms is definitely a part of the culture that I've told people this before. I said I think Brazil could that there needs to be a political party of just Brazilian moms in Brazil. It could take care of so many problems because Brazilian moms just they take care of people. Like what would hunger be like in Brazil if Brazilian moms were in charge, right? Like I just think like the care that Brazilian moms have could just take care of so many people.
This is so, so beautiful, Kobe. So cool. And I remember, let me tell you guys who are watching now, Kobe had a class at the time. He worked at the time English school, right? Our school that's only for 50 plus students. And he was a teacher of drama classes, right? So we worked there with the students with drama. And it was what? Awesome? Is enough
It was
to
it was fun. It was fun. It was awesome. It was transformative. Um, it it was a huge experience because the first class that I taught was a group of women who had already passed through many classes at tea time. So this made it so that it wasn't impossible to understand what I'm saying because I normally don't teach English from like point zero to advanced. Usually
uh-huh.
when I'm giving English or when I'm helping English, it's for people that just want to converse, they just want to talk. And normally I used English, like I like to teach English through the arts, through other forms rather than just the language on its own. But this group of women, they were already prepared because they had already done so many classes that they were still able to understand me, but I also had to understand them and know. how fast do I go? Sometimes I say a slang phrase, gíria, in the United States that I have to stop myself and remember, oh, I probably need to explain that, like an arm and a leg. Or,
Yes.
the best thing about teaching these women is that they just had the will to express themselves. They were hilarious every class. I found that
Hilarious.
they always had a million ideas in their head, and we just were laughing so much. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that I miss about teaching this group of women is just the fun and the laughter that we had in our classes.
It's true, Kobe. It's true because they are very interesting people, right?
Yeah.
Everybody full of stories of life, and I'm pretty sure you could see that. And also, I'm struggling a little bit with my cell phone, sorry. And also, um, the environment, right? The intelligence, the fun, and the life popping out. It
Yeah.
was super cool. And the fact that we come from different cultures, right?
Yeah.
You from the United States, completely different from Brazil, and the way you speak, because you speak fast, right? You're right. You speak fast, and then suddenly they had to understand everything. And there is this idea of speaking English is just when you speak like a native speaker, and
Yeah.
it's crazy because I'm always going to be Brazilian speaking English. You will always be an American speaking Portuguese, and that's
Yeah.
okay, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, well, one thing that I noticed that is a common worry with Brazilians learning English is they don't want to have an accent. So they're very worried about, is my pronunciation, is this okay? Is this right? And the thing that I notice is I will help if someone wants to better a pronunciation and make sure that they're not saying, uh, that people rather than that people. I can help on certain, details. But the
Sure.
point is that if the person is already thinking the word and their word is very close to what the like natural pronunciation is, what's most important to me is the fact that you can communicate in the language and that little details like little T's and D's and stuff like that I can help correct, but it's not my main worry whenever I'm listening to someone talking in English. And I've noticed this for myself with Portuguese is that it's been 4 years that I'm in Brazil. I still have an accent when I talk in Portuguese, but I feel that I understand and I can explain and express everything in the language. And to me, that's what's most important is just being able to communicate and express. And if my a or ah or whatever vowel isn't as close or as positioned the way as a native Brazilian speaker is, that's fine. Like I'll even want to correct, but I just think that the element of losing your accent, I just think is somewhat perfectionistic and it can kind of hold you back from just expressing, get the words out, try to, I think the worry about saying everything perfectly can keep people from wanting to express themselves.
Exactly, exactly. I think so too, because the idea is to communicate, is to
Yeah.
get the idea across, right? So it's going to be mistakes. Yes, there are going to be a lot of mistakes, and that's okay. And that's okay. I've been studying and speaking English forever, and I still make lots of mistakes, but I'm so happy that I can speak English, right? That I can,
Exactly.
right? With all the mistakes I carry, with all my accent. And I know that sometimes I don't even know which accent I have. I mean, I don't know. I just try to communicate, right?
Yeah. And honestly, just learning another language brings so many benefits. But the greatest benefit for me is that I know people in Brazil because
Exactly.
I speak Portuguese. And another thing is that there's so many, this love that we talk about that Brazil that Brazil shows, I wouldn't experience this love to the degree, to the level that I experience this love if it was English. If it was a Brazilian trying to explain in English, I was able to feel that love at the beginning when I came here. But there's so much Portuguese even has a vocabulary that has a lot of love and a lot of warmth behind some of the words. Saudades, for example, we don't have that in English. If we say I miss you, it would be sinto falta de você. But it's
It's not
not
the
the same.
same.
It doesn't carry the same weight. It doesn't carry the same love that I hear. Or whenever I hear, whenever a Brazilian mom, for example, is giving me a birthday message or something. If she was trying to say this in English, I don't think she would find the words that would help her explain all the love that she feels as when she's speaking in
All the
Portuguese.
wishes.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I can't explain this to people in the United States. I tell them Brazilians are extremely kind, they're extremely loving, but I can't explain to you how this feels until you know Portuguese, until you come to Brazil and feel this themselves, because English doesn't carry the same warmth behind the words as various Portuguese words do. Uh, so
Wow, 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 wow. This is
yeah.
beautiful. We are loving people, so loving people. It's true, it's true. Sometimes we forget because we are like this, and it's not something different from for us. So whenever someone tells us about it, it's like, oh, it's true, it's true. I didn't pay attention to it,
Yeah.
right? And when did you start learning Portuguese?
I started learning Portuguese in 2016, the year 2016. And it happened after I
Where?
discovered in Chicago. I was in Chicago. And I had already made 2 trips to Brazil to meet a friend that I met here in Brazil way back in 2013. And he's my best friend till today. We meet up because of him. I know everyone here. He's the reason that he was the first open door for me to know what is Brazil. And
Thank
when
you,
I did,
Colby's friend. Thank
yeah,
you.
his name is Winnetou. Winnetou. Oh,
Winnetou.
Winnetou.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Winton.
Uh-huh.
Winton. Hi.
And
Thank you so much for bringing Colby.
so when I visited him, I experienced the culture of Brazil that already caught my attention, and I wanted to come to Brazil again just to visit because I loved my experience. But I decided to start learning Portuguese after I discovered a music school here in Brazil called Playing for Change. And this is one of my workplaces where we teach children music in order to help them um, uh, realize social transformation. So the school is actually in the neighborhood of Cajuru, and I give singing classes and theater classes there. But the motive is to help these kids deal with various problems in their own life through the arts, and to be able to make social transformation through that. So playing for change is a global movement. There's schools of playing for change in the whole world because it's a social organization. But the only school in Brazil of this organization was in Curitiba, or it's in Curitiba, and I discovered that in 2016 after I had come back from my trips to see my friend here. So when I saw that there was a school that teaches music in this way, and it's in the same city of the friends that I already came to know, I decided that's a sign. I need to go to Brazil. I need to live there. This is exactly what I want to do. So I talked to the owner of Playing for Change Brazil, and he was speaking in English with me. And he said, if you want to do this, if you want to give classes, you're going to have to learn Portuguese. So I decided I'm gonna go and learn Portuguese then. So I started with Duolingo just to
Go.
get vocabulary into my head. But then I had a Brazilian friend from my college who I asked to speak with me for 2 hours a week, and I paid her, an hourly rate so that way she could help me. But I recorded my classes with her, my conversations, and I made flashcards afterwards in order to remember the vocabulary that happened in the conversation. And then my goal, because I mean, I'm a Virgo, so I like to study. I like to be perfectionistic. And so I memorized all the vocabulary before the next class because the next class would bring more vocabulary and then I'd have to make more flashcards. So I kept myself on a goal. Every week I have to have the last conversation
In
completely learned
flashcards.
and memorized. But after I came to Brazil in 2017, I thought like, oh, I know Portuguese. I've been studying for a year and a half. I memorized all these words, and then I
Easy
came
peasy.
here, and I was like, I don't understand anything. They talk so fast. I know what it. That's why I'm trying to slow down right now because I know what it's like to hear a native speaker
You see.
speaking super fast. So, after coming here, I felt like my head was just in a grinder, moedor, every day, making sure, trying to understand the people at the supermarket. I would go to the supermarket to ask for meat, and they would start off with pois no, and then I'm like,
Oh, where? Which
what?
lesson is this?
I know. I was like, they're saying no. Do they not want to serve me? They're saying no. Like, go away. So, I would have these moments. And, my friend, he let me live with his family when I first came here. So that way I could get my documents, figure out what I'm doing, how can I get my visas for the next years. But his family, they don't know English. Only my friend knows English. And so the mother, taking care of me like every day, making all the food. But she also loved to talk and loved to talk to me. And I loved it. It's just my head just couldn't understand so much because, she was just speaking and wanting to know everything. And, you know, so
Yes.
it was a long process to be able to be fluent or to get to a proficient state of language learning. It took about 3 years before I was considered proficient.
Living here.
Yes,
Living
living here.
here, right? Because you need it every day. And still, you see, I like this kind of statements because they show people that there is no magic. Number one, there's no magic. It's hard work. And second, it's not about age,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Bec- because to get this fluency and to have this feeling that, oh my God, I studied so long for so long and I don't understand a thing on a trip, for example. But the point is that we feel like this, especially on the first days. We feel like,
Yeah,
oh my God, where am I? Right? Like the grinder you said about
yeah,
this tiring
yeah,
brain we get by the end of the day,
yeah,
right? Listening to another language all day long, it is tiring. It takes a long way, right,
yeah,
to communicate, right? This thing about fluency and to feeling comfortable,
yeah,
even if it's not your first, it's always second language, and that's okay, right? And we feel it, we know that it happens at any age, any language, right? So it's very good it's very comforting
yeah,
to listen from you, this too.
yeah. And one thing that caught my attention about tea time when I first came into to get to know what is tea time and, to do the first interview. Um, I thought that movement of you are over 50 and you can do this. I love that motive. I agree with it. It's something that after having given the classes, I noticed just how the over 50 phase of life is that phase where you had your younger days when you were a young adult, you did these things, you started your family, you bought your house, you got these things, like your family and your life started to happen, and now at this last age of life, it's like, well, what do I do now? If I already went to school, I already made a family, I have a great family. Well, what's next? And one thing that I love about the tea time movement, about this school, is that it shows you your life isn't over. Your life isn't
No.
over for being over 50. You didn't do everything that the world has to offer yet. You are capable of learning a language and having more experiences that anyone could have at any time in your life. So it was something where just seeing people believe that for themselves. I'm capable. I can do this. And I also love too hearing how, some of the students at tea time, they had grandchildren that are in English classes, and they felt like, well, they're learning so fast and everything, and they're learning so much more English, but I can do this too. I can do this too. But sometimes they would complain how like their grandkids correct them and things like that. But I think what's so inspiring is to see someone believe in themselves that I can learn a language just like my grandkids, just like,
Of
people.
course, of course. Instead of comparing to the grandchildren, it's a
Uh-huh.
new connection with
Yeah,
them, right?
yeah,
Because then they can study together. They can have this little something, just the two of them, right?
yeah,
Or it's another bond. I think it's awesome. And up to 50, 60,
uh-huh.
around, you are just working or doing things
Yeah,
for the family, for work, and for everybody else. And then when you reach a certain age, you can do things for yourself,
yeah,
right? So that's what we see, and I think you saw it too at
yeah,
school at tea time, because the students there, they are living their prime time, their
yeah.
best time, where they are the stars, and nothing better than being a drama class, right?
Yes. And the drama class, one thing that I notice is that when you're acting, you're being another person. You're not being yourself. And so you are exaggerating, you are interpreting, and you're being funny. You're using words that you wouldn't use in your personal life. But if I was a crazy, um, like if I was a crazy person that plays with fire or something like that, just the extreme, this is not anything like who I am, but if I'm going to be this person, they will start to use words that they would never use, and they start to really express themselves because they don't have to have the nervousness that, oh, if I make a mistake, then that's a personal attack on me. It's like you could make your mistakes
Good
and
point.
and have fun being another person, because maybe that character makes mistakes too. But it's a very similar thing, because I only notice here in Brazil that when someone wants to practice English with me, it's usually after they've been drinking a little bit. So, like, because once you drink, you kind of stop worrying about yourself as much, and your inhibitions come down. So that way the person starts to want to practice English. But like, but I noticed that, drama, rather than, drinking also does a similar effect where if I can just abandon my self ego and my, worries about who I am and worrying about people judging me, it it's much easier for people to judge a character
True, true,
than it
true,
is to judge
totally.
the person. So it really helps people, to get more English out.
Yes, yes, and to fantasize and to do things they wouldn't, right?
Yeah,
Under a shield. I think
yeah,
it's you, it's your face, everything, but it's not you. So you
yeah,
can do many things you yourself wouldn't do, but you are doing, right?
yeah,
It's,
yep,
uh, I think all the characters have something in common with the person who is acting because we are all human beings, right?
yeah, yep,
So this connection, and it's a disconnection and a connection with something
absolutely.
so different, so cool. And I remember at school, you playing with the students, right? You working with them, and I think you could feel their development, their openness, their new thing they were doing. Could you see that?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think sometimes when you have to learn a language, there's a time where you have to be focused and you have to really study and, put in discipline, and that can be, it's important, but at times it's not fun.
Mm-hmm, true. It's
It's
hard work.
necessary. It's necessary. It has to happen. But I think what helped is that drama class kind of helped give a moment to have fun too. To there, yes, you'll learn some new words. I'll help you, get more words out. But most of them, we're laughing so much and recording videos of various scenes, and people are just like crying laughing, in our classes,
I
because
remember.
you have to think on your feet. This is a phrase that means that you're thinking, without preparation. You have to improvise, on the spot. That's another word phrase that means the same thing. uh, and it helps the creativity come into the room. And when people can ride the energy of creativity with other people, it can be so enjoyable. And you start to think about words and vocab through an element of fun and through creativity, rather than being really serious and being really focused and formal in the way that we're trying to speak English. So I
Yeah.
just felt like it complements the learning process that does include discipline and lots of things that may not be just all fun, the whole time, but it complements the process. It helps you remember that the objective of learning English is to communicate, and communication is very fun once
Mhm.
you get to a very proficient point.
That's so true, so true. I totally agree. There's this hard work we have to do. We have to work hard, no pain, no gain,
Right.
right? There's no magic there, but we should bring fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Through the journey, not like the destination, but to go with it. The
Yeah.
hard time, you work hard, and the fun time, you have fun. And
Exactly.
right, as you said, Brazilian people know how to do, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
yes, yes, we should remember this. We have to remember this like every day, right? And not only they act, but I remember they singing too, right?
Yeah.
They were singing. You made them sing. It was a musical, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the first class that I taught, I don't even know what we created a name. We called them In Motion at the time. And we
True,
started like
true.
just speech, because singing is a whole nother, element of challenge and trying to understand your musical instrument. There's a lot more difficulty and worry that comes to singing. But that group, we started with just drama, and they loved it. They were expressing themselves. They were having fun. And then I proposed the idea: what if we do musical theater on the next semester and start to learn about music and this element of expressing? And it was really, really fun as well. It was, I would say, harder than the drama
Sure.
club element was, just because you have to really want to go there. If you want to sing, and you want to be challenged in that way, then I will be there. I will go with you. But it can be really difficult and scary if the person doesn't have the will to want to sing, but to just speak. So, but they're both, avenues that help you grow in your communication. I just think
Sure.
that group that I had, most of them wanted to sing, and most of them loved to sing, and they would go on, boat trips, and they would sing so many songs and send me a video of them singing Mamma Mia or and they're all in bathing suits and like having so much fun. So it was really an opportunity for the group to show themselves of who they are through another avenue as well. So
I think it was memorable. It was fantastic. And we miss that a lot. Maybe someday we'll
oh,
join forces again, right, Kobe?
absolutely, I would love to.
Right. And I love to hear about the project you said about playing for change. It's a
Yeah.
super cool project. Thanks for teaching us about this. Anna here was saying, Anna Rojas, she's watching and she said that she participated in the Playing for Change in Bangkok.
Yeah,
Cool, right? Awesome. So, and also, Gabi said she loves Duolingo too. People saying hi here.
hi.
And Kobe, and what are your plans? What's coming next for Kobe
So
Adams?
the next plan is that in 1 year, in 2023, we're at the end of 2021, but in 2023, I will be qualified to become a Brazilian citizen. And
Yay!
that is what I want, because I am happy here. I am very happy here. So I don't want to leave. I don't want to live anywhere else. I am trying to figure out how I can use online teaching in a way to be able to grow my business as a singing teacher, in other countries. So I teach some students from the United States now online, and that's one thing that the pandemic has helped me see, is that I'm not limited to just Brazil just because I'm here in Brazil. And so this makes me also want to stay in Brazil, because we all know that, the Brazilian real is difficult in the conversion rate to euro and US
True,
dollar.
true.
It may make it difficult to go travel, because of that challenge. So it kind of helps to, figure out how I can make money in some other currencies, so that I can still be able to visit my family, in the United States, or to be able to go and see other countries as well. But I'm very happy and satisfied here, and I want to continue doing what I do here. I see the transformation that's happening here, and it's the most rewarding thing. So,
So cool. We love to have you here, right, Kobe? For us, you can stay as long as you want. You are
oh,
so welcome here. And Colby, if someone that is watching now wants to have classes with you or want to contact you,
yeah.
how can we do this?
Yeah, well, if you're already on Instagram, you can send me a message to my Instagram account, and that will come directly to me.
Good.
At the moment, well, I'm giving online classes But Playing for Change came back to having in-person classes, but we all are wearing a mask and, keeping distance and all that. So if someone's interested in learning to sing and, learn vocal technique or to converse in English, I know I've helped some students that have like a job interview and they have to do a job interview in English and they just want to have one class with me to practice being interviewed in English. I normally do that. So I
Good.
help like conversational English, but if it's a I need to learn English from zero to whatever, if they're 50 and over, I tell them tea time. I've told people you need to go to tea time. You need to learn English there. But
Yes, yes. True,
so,
true.
kids that are, my age and, or younger, that are trying to learn English, I tell them about Javi Carnero because I actually did an Italian language course with his school and everything. And
All
that
right. And
uh,
that and
other people's experience is better at tea time for, the learning process.
thanks, dear. Thanks. And Anna is asking, is playing for change in Curitiba?
Yeah, it's in the neighborhood of Cajuru. Cajuru.
Right. And we probably may find them on Instagram too.
Yes, Instituto Playing for Change.
Okay.
The Instagram for the Playing for Change School in Brazil.
Cool. Thank you so, so, so much, Colby. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you
Um,
here in this
the,
virtual environment.
the feeling is mutual. I loved it. I love being able to talk with you again and to remember tea time and all the memories that we had shared there.
Right. It was so cool. Noemia is saying hello. Regina is
Hi.
all. We thank you so, so very much, Colby. And I hope to see you soon, okay?
I hope to see you as well. You take care, Renata.
You too, honey. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Later.
Bye, guys.